Hi Year 4, this is Pink Group reading, and this is the whole of your week 9 learning. So once you finish with day 1, just make sure you pause the video before you're ready for day 2. So hopefully you'll remember what retrieval and inferential questions are, because we did do it a few weeks ago, and you have been doing lots of these types of questions in your work in the last few weeks. I'll give you a second to think of what a retrieval question might be. It's a question where you have to find key information from the text. Okay, so you have to look in the text for the answer, and your first 3 questions every day are retrieval questions. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to think about what an inferential question is. It's where you have to explain your opinion about the text, so you don't find the answer in the text. You can use clues to explain what you think, okay? And your final question every day is inferential, so well done if you remembered those definitions. Okay, so day 1, your text is all about plants, so let's read it together. What plants need to grow? To grow properly, a plant needs air, light, water, nutrients, and warmth. Why does it need them? If a seed is not warm enough, it will not germinate. Germination is when the seed starts to sprout. Okay, so that's when the seed starts to grow. If a plant does not have enough light, it will grow to be tall and flimsy as it tries to search for light. The plant will probably die. If a plant is not watered enough, its stem will be fragile and it will have very dry leaves. Again, it will probably not survive. So where is the best to grow a healthy plant? Okay, so that's your text. And we're going to move on to one of the questions you've got today, which is a retrieval question. It says, what is germination? Okay, so because this is a retrieval question, I'm going to be finding the answer in a text. I'm going to skim and scan my text to try and find the word germination. Okay, so you quickly look through it and I will too. Okay, I've seen the word germination. I'm going to highlight it for you. So it says, germination is when the seed starts to sprout. Okay, so the text has told me the answer, therefore I would write, germination is when the seed starts to sprout. Okay, so that's a retrieval question where you find the answer in the text. So your last question of the day is an inferential question, and this is one of the questions where you have to explain your opinion. Okay, it says, what do you think would happen if you planted a seed and put it into a cold, dark cupboard? Okay, so what would happen if you planted a seed and you put your seed in a cold, dark cupboard? So even though we're not going to find the answer in the text, the specific answer, we can go back to the text to see if we can find any clues to help us with our opinion. So it says at the bottom that it needs warmth. It says if the seed is not warm, okay, it won't start to sprout, okay? And then it also says if the plant doesn't have enough light, so if it does not have light, it will be tall and flimsy and it will probably die. Okay, so your question said, what will happen if you planted a seed in a cold, dark cupboard? You need to explain what you think would happen. So if it didn't have any warmth and it was really dark, what do you think would happen to your plant? Okay, moving on to day 2, let's have a look at your text. The great white shark. Great white sharks are the top of the ocean's food chain. They are the biggest fish on our planet, which eat other fish and animals. They are known to live between 30 and 100 years old and can be found in all of the world's oceans, but they are mostly found in cool water close to the coast. Even though they are mostly grey, they get their name from their white underbelly. The great white shark has been known to grow up to 6 meters long and have up to 300 sharp teeth in 7 rows. Their amazing sense of smell allows them to hunt for prey such as seals, rays, and small whales from miles away. Okay, so we're not going to look at any more retrieval questions, which is the ones where you find the answer in the text, because I think you're going to get on with those fine. From now on, we're just going to look at your inferential questions, and I'll give you a few clues. So your inferential question today says, why do you think that the great white shark is at the top of the ocean's food chain? Okay, now, top of the ocean's food chain, what that means is it's basically one of the most powerful animals, and it eats lots of animals that are below it in the food chain. So why do you think that this animal, the great white shark, is at the top of the food chain? Why do you think it eats lots of other animals? Okay, so have a go with answering that question. Moving on to day 3. You're learning about polar bears today, and your text is called Polar Bear Fascinating Facts. Polar bears have a great sense of smell. They can sniff out seals from almost 1 kilometre away, even when they are under the ice. A fully grown adult polar bear weighs between 175 to 650 kilograms and measures approximately 2 to 3 meters in length. Polar bears need to hunt earlier each year due to climate change, which is melting the sea ice. This means their feeding season is shorter, giving them less time to build up their fat reserves. This is why polar bears are quickly becoming an endangered species. Try to find out what you could do to help save polar bears. Okay, so looking at your inferential question today, which is the one where you say your own opinion, it says, where could you look to find out about how to help save polar bears? Okay, so where could you look to help you find out about how you can save some polar bears? So have a little think. Okay, when you're at school, what do we use to find out things? Okay, where could you go to help you find out some things? Those are a few clues, right? Day 4. Your text today is called The Little Red Hen, and it says, one day the little red hen found some grains of wheat on the ground. Who will help me plant these grains of wheat? She asked. Not I, replied the cat, the dog, and the horse. They were all far too lazy and busy to offer their help. So the little red hen planted the grains all by herself. When the wheat had grown, the little red hen asked her friends, who will help me cut down the crops? Not I, cried her so-called friends. Then I will do it, said the little red hen. So the little red hen cut the wheat all by herself and put her haul into sacks ready to take to the miller. Okay, so your inferential question today says, how do you think the little red hen felt when her friends would not help her? Okay, how do you think she felt? So she's got all these friends and she's got all the wheat to cut up and she's got to put it all into bags, and she asked for some help from her friends and none of them would help. So how do you think she was feeling? Do you think she was feeling happy they wouldn't help her? Angry? Maybe she was feeling sad? Maybe she was feeling disappointed? Okay, what do you think? Moving on to day 5. Today your text is called Turning Milk into Cheese. Cheese is made using milk. The milk of goats and pigs can be made into cheese, but most cheeses you would buy at your local supermarket are made from cow's milk. At the cheese factory, the milk is warmed in a large pot before a substance called rennet is added. This makes the cheese go lumpy and slowly makes it turn solid. After that, other ingredients are added that change the colour and taste of the cheese. It is often left to age before being packed up to be sold in shops. So your inferential question today says, why do you think supermarkets sell so many kinds of cheese? So why do you think supermarkets sell so many kinds of cheese? I'll give you a few clues. Okay, do you think that everyone would want to eat the same kind of cheese all the time? Okay, maybe people have different flavors of cheese that they like to eat. Okay, Maybe you need different cheeses to make certain recipes and do your cooking. So have a little think. And why do you think that supermarkets have so many different kinds of cheese? Okay, good luck with the rest of your learning.